best. I wanted players in the setup who didn't need a huge amount of motivating, or who didn't need to be told you can't do this, you can't do that. They were self-motivated to a great extent. You see, the players, the higher the standards you set, the more they like it. The more demands you make on them, the more they like it, because all they want to be is part of a setup that's going to give them the best chance to be as successful as it possibly can be.
And all of that is building towards that one Sunday in September in Croke.
That's the ambition. That's the lofty ambition, if you like. But I mean, not getting there isn't failure either. We have been lucky in the sense that we have the possibility of getting to that Sunday in September, which is, without a shadow of a doubt, a place everybody wants to be. But I mean, as long as they're getting the maximum out of themselves, that's success without trophies, if you like.
But then how do you cope with failure? Like last year, when the dirty was done on you by Tip, to everybody's surprise. How do you cope then with that failure?
It's disappointment. You know,
haven't won.
It's huge disappointment. But I mean, I'm very, very realistic. We got to the stage where we won 4 All-Ireland finals in a row, terrific achievement. And then suddenly it was as if this team was going to go on and win, keep winning forever, right? But I mean, that's not sport, that's not life, that's not reality.
What did you say to them when they didn't win?
Well, I mean, not a lot can be said, but you know, I suppose what I did say to them was, look at that. We have won. We've had great success,
so much,
and we won with a bit of dignity and a bit of honour. That we're going to lose with great dignity and with great honour.
You spoke about perhaps your mind wandering at Mass, but on the other hand, you've been known to say prayers, to lead prayers with Father Tom, your good friend, on All-Ireland Sunday. In that situation, are you praying for a win?
I've never prayed for a win, to be honest about it.
Never?
Never. No, I've never. And when I heard later, I just had this sense of there's more important things to be praying for than to win in a hurling match. But the morning of the Ireland final, I go to Mass. Do not pray for victory. Do not pray for victory at all in any sporting sense, because I think it's sport and it's everything to us and it's wonderful. But
there's a limit.
There are limits. There are limits. Yeah.
How do you imagine God when you do pray?
You know, I suppose I have this sense of Jesus Christ, and you know that I pray to him in the sense that I talk to him. I just speak ordinary thoughts, words that to me are important.
And do you believe that prayers are answered?
Yeah, I do. And I mean, sometimes they're not, you know, and I suppose that how do you pick and choose when they are or not? But when things go wrong, you know, and when you have a crisis and whatever, something wrong, you straight away we pray and please God and every rest of it and thank God and things go right. Now it's part and parcel of our everyday language. But certainly, I think that's one of the things that annoys me to an extent is that when there's a crisis and when things do go wrong for so many people, straight away it's pray they do. And then when it's sorted, the sense of any kind of a commitment to their Catholic religion might just go out the window again.
This next one is a bit off the wall. Christianity is one of the aspects, one of the important aspects of it is to hold out a helping hand to life's losers, whereas sport is all about winning. How do you reconcile that conflict?
You could be right about being a bit off the wall, Gay, right there. Sport is competitive, you see, and I mean, it's to fulfill yourself completely in sport, you've got to be competitive and determined and drive to always get the better of the opponent, and that's what it's about. So, I mean, to go out and to even consider having the slightest bit of sympathy for the loser, as you call him, goes contrary to everything that would be right about sport, you know.
Did you find losing hard, and did it teach you anything?
I think that's the great thing about sport, you know, great sort of preparation for life's trials and tribulations, because life doesn't all go sweet and rosy for everybody either, you know, and you have setbacks, and it does help very, very much in the formation of character for all the things you've got to put up with.
Speaking of which, I know you're close to Mickey Hart and you knew Michaela. And when something, such an unspeakable tragedy comes into somebody's life, did that rock your faith in God in any way?
It rocked everybody, I think, it rocked everybody and it shook everybody and it horrified everybody. And Mickey himself, I know everybody knows his great sense of faith, and that's what's essentially keeping him going now, that sense of faith, and Michaela had that as well. So, I mean, you meet tragedies in so many different ways. That's the most unspeakable one I think I've come across, unfortunately. But if we were to kind of pin all of those things on God or the futility of our beliefs, or suddenly that shatter everything we have been brought up to believe about afterlife or whatever, no, it hasn't rocked that element of my life at all. But I think the greatest sense of relief that so many people have is their faith. And, you go to the funerals of so many people and you see the central element of it is the Christian burial and the Mass and, the words of the priest. And that brings some sense of understanding, possibly, to those who are mourning. But it's the one thing that they want to hang on to, if you like, that sense of knowing that there is something further than this, and the hope and I suppose the expectation and the belief that sometime, somewhere, there will be a reunion, if you like.
Do you believe then that there are people, that the people you loved and who loved you, who have gone on, who have died, do you think that they have a watching brief over you and can influence your well-being?
Well, I suppose if we pray to those people, and certainly I would speak to my parents, and I had a brother who died, and friends and whatever it is, and you would always have that sense of, you go to the graveyards and you spend a bit of time there, and it's a great sense of relief. You don't see them, we no longer can physically see them and physically be part of our lives, but emotionally and mentally they're still there for us.
Do you think that they can help you even?
I would think so, yeah. Well, certainly they spent their lives helping us, our parents. They devoted their lives to helping us, and they would never have any other sense of anything but commitment to their children's lives, and certainly that would be very, very still strong.
Do you believe in hell?
I'm not sure I do, no. I don't. I can't envisage hell being part and parcel of something that Jesus Christ, sort of advocates or whatever, with the whole sense of a forgiving Father and everything else. I don't see God as up there with a pen or a pencil ticking us off and saying, look, he passed today or he didn't pass yesterday, whatever it was.
Heaven. Do you believe in it?
I do, yeah. I believe in heaven for whatever it is meant to be, a sense of something that's an extension of this life, if you like, that there is an afterlife. And I mean, we often speak about heaven on earth as well. Sometimes it's the first one of September as well, but if it's that kind of a sense of place up there or out there or wherever it is or in there, whatever it is, yeah, but there's something there.
By the time this programme airs, we will have a new Taoiseach. Have you any one thing you would like to advise him to do?
I think that we've reached the lowest of the low with regard to everything that could happen in our country, if you like, and we have got to just start being completely, I think, honest. And you just talk to me about being straightforward and honest and genuine about what we're trying to do. That hasn't happened in our country, and it's going to be a tough slog for everybody concerned. It was so avoidable. We were in a very good place, and that bothers me very, very much. The sense of complete disregard for doing what was the right thing to do by so many people is so wrong.
Just doing the right thing.
Just doing the right thing would have solved so much.
Is that what you think is the meaning of life?
Probably is, to an extent, yeah. I suppose I'm influenced very, very much by all of by the things that dictate my life to an extent. And I mean, sport obviously is one of them things. My life in school, teaching, obviously my family as well. And to fulfill all of those properly, you're going to meet challenges along the way that are going to test you. And I think facing up to those challenges dictates very, very much how we fare and how we get on. And I think that's what it's really about, the meaning of life.
And are you content?
Very, very content. Very, very definitely content, yeah, absolutely. And I thank God for that.
Last question. If it's all true and you eventually get to the Golden Gate and you meet God, what do you think you will say to him?
Thank God, you know, thank God. And I would be very, very happy to be there. I don't have any sense of fear of what's waiting up there or out there for me at all. I don't have any sense of that at all. And I'll say, look, thanks be to God, we're here. What's next, you know?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.